Today we're going to make some gnocchi pasta, which is potato pasta. You could also use regular pasta as well, penne or rotini, whatever you like. But I like the gnocchi with yams, peppers, tomatoes, soybeans, which gives us some protein, as well as some pesto and parmesan in that. Vegetarian dish, but it's got the protein from the edamame beans. Very tasty and super easy. So what we'll do, I've got some water in here. I'm going to bring that to a boil. And I've also got my steamer here. That's what I'm going to cook the yam in. So first of all, I'm just going to quickly peel my yam. It was on sale at the store today. The nice thing about this dish is there's a lot of different varieties or alternatives that you can use when you're making this. If you don't like yam, you could put sweet potato, regular potato in there, but I do like the sweetness and the color of the yam in particular. So I'll just quickly peel that, make a bit of a mess there, but that's all right. Now, I'm just going to take this and cut the yam into large chunks. You can see this is really fast to make. I want to make it into bite-sized pieces, but not too small. So I'm going to sort of cut it in slices here and into, each slice goes into about 4 to 6 pieces depending upon your preference. Of course, the smaller the pieces, the faster it will cook. So pretty quick here. Again, we're going to be done this chopping and everything way before the water's hot enough to cook anything. So I've got all that getting ready here. Alright, so what I do, I'm just going to, the water's not hot enough yet, but I'm just going to put the yams in the steamer. Just throw that in right in there. Let those cook. If you're making more, serving it for a larger group, just put 2 yams in there. Not a problem. Alright, while I'm working on it, we certainly don't need to steam the pepper, but I can chop that up and get that ready. Again, we want to make this fast, easy. So again, I don't like to cut up the pepper too small, just big enough for to easily eat. And again, just some nice chunks that when we put it in the pasta, we'll be able to see it nicely. Also, some really nice tomatoes I got at the farmer's market. Really fresh. It's a perfect time of year for nice tomatoes. Tomatoes give some really nice color to the dish. Again, we certainly don't need to cook them. They'll go raw right in there. Now, if you don't have fresh tomatoes, you could use canned. I wouldn't put tomato sauce in, but some nice chopped tomatoes is nice. But again, not mandatory. You could leave those out if you don't like tomatoes even. Although these are beautiful, I can't imagine not enjoying these. Alright, so just quickly, again, I like to chop things pretty loosely. I figure we've got teeth for a reason. We actually do want to have some texture to our food. This is a nice yellow one. I can throw that in there for some color. Alright, good. So, we're going to wait for that water to heat up, and then we'll come back for the next step. Okay, our water is boiling, so this is steaming away nicely, and the yam is getting quite tender. I can pierce it with a fork. And my pasta pot here, boiling quite nicely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take the gnocchi pasta and pour it right in, gently, so I don't burn myself. And that is not going to take very long at all to cook. We're talking maybe 5 minutes. Okay, the gnocchi is cooked. You know that it's cooked because it's starting to float on the top of the water. We don't want to overcook this. However, here's a trick. To cook those soybeans that I was mentioning, why bother putting it into a separate pot? You can just take the frozen soybeans, throw them right into the boiling pasta water. Of course, the pasta water immediately stops cooking, so you don't want to throw them in too quickly. But you know what? I'm going to just put this whole bag in. That's probably about a cup and a half of soybeans. And I'll just give that a bit of a stir. Over here, get a spoon. All right. Those quickly turn a little bit deeper green. Over here, I've got my yams. They are very nicely cooked. I can turn everything off now, and all I need to do is just drain this. So I'm going to strain the pasta gnocchi with the edamame beans into a strainer in the sink. Very quickly. All right. Very nice. I've got soybeans, I've got the edamame, and I've got my serving bowl. So I'm just going to pour this right into my serving bowl. Nice. First of all, some nice color here. What we'll do now is we will just put those tomatoes in here. Now, don't forget the tomato juice as well. That can go right in there. By the way, these scrapers I'm using, they're made for pastry, but they work really nicely for scooping vegetables like our tomatoes here. All right. Now, very simply, we just take our yams, throw them in here. Look at the nice color we've got going on here. Now, so we've got a nice vegetable dish here. Now we can also add those peppers. We don't need them to be particularly cooked. If you like them to be a bit more tender, you could throw them in with the yams in the last 30 seconds, and that'll make them a bit more tender. Alright, so this is nice, but we don't have a lot of flavor yet. So, what we've got, some pesto. Remember, not all pestos are made the same. Take a look at the ingredients in the pesto that you're buying. I like to look for just a few simple ingredients. Olive oil, pesto, olive oil, basil, and pine nuts. Sometimes you can get walnuts. That's okay too. But be very cautious when they're adding a lot of other strange ingredients. They can get very unpleasant indeed. Alright, so I'm just going to put that. That's probably about a half of a cup of pesto. There's no rules here. Put in as much as you want or as little as you want, but I like a good amount. And this is just some grated Parmesan cheese on top. What do we want to do? We just want to toss this. Now, to give it a bit of a nice texture, let's drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. Just over the top, some nice extra virgin olive oil. Toss this a little bit more. How nice does that look? And a little bit of freshly ground pepper. Remember something with pesto. Never cook pesto. It just kills the flavor. Just put it in at the end just like we've done here. And that is done. We've got gnocchi with yams, peppers, nice tomatoes, and soybeans as well as the pesto. Really tasty. That's your meal for tonight. The whole process took me 20 minutes, and most of that was waiting for the water to boil.
Hi. For the full recipe, please check out easymidweekmeals.com, and while you're there, share your comments. Let me know how it went for you and any variations that you might have come up with. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you back next week for another recipe.